All right, here's our third video on solving by factoring. So what we've been doing in each video is getting everything to one side so you have 0 on the other side. So you want to find your highest exponent. Here we have a 2x squared, but that's a negative 2x squared. We do not like this term to be negative. Whatever your highest exponent is, that leading term of your polynomial, we don't want that to be negative. So if we add 2x squared to the other side, that's going to make it positive, and it will leave you 0 on the other side. So we have 2x squared plus x minus 3 equals 0. All right, so we've got a nice little trinomial that we're going to factor. One thing you want to look for is a GCF. Do your three terms have any common factors? And we can see that they do not. So we're just going to factor this one. And you see how there is a 2 in front of the x squared. That means that this is going to be a guess and check type of factoring. We can't just go to the last term and say factors of 3 that add up to 1. It's not going to work that way. So these are the ones where we go straight to our parentheses. What we put into the first two spots have to multiply to 2x squared. So that's going to be a 2x times an x. Remember, if this is a prime number, then it eliminates some options. You won't have as many options to try. So 2x and x give us 2x squared. Now in the second spot, we have to put in numbers that multiply to this negative 3. So we can use 3 and 1, and then because it's a negative 3, we're going to have one positive and one negative. So let me talk you through my thinking on this. I know that I'm going to use a 3 and a 1, but to avoid guessing a lot of possibilities, I'm going to think about where the best spot for the 3 and 1 would be. If I put the 3 over here, if you remember, that ends up being multiplied with the 2x. So 2x times 3 is 6x. And I can see that we want it to add up to this middle term, and that's just getting a little bit too big. I'm thinking it's getting a little bit too big. So I'm going to start with the 3 right there. And I'm going to put the 1 right there. So just that thought of if the 3 was over here, that would give me a 6x when we do our checking. And 6x just seemed too big. So that made me try the 3 here first. All right, so because we have to multiply to a negative 3, you have one positive and one negative. So I'm going to try a negative and a positive. Then you check the inside terms. You multiply those, you get negative 3x. Check the outside terms, and you get a positive 2x. And add these together, and we get a negative x. So your check is to see that should match this middle term. So we're really close. This middle term is positive, and we came up with a negative. So the way that we fix that is we say, well, if this was a positive 3 and that was a negative 2, that would give us a positive x. So basically, we just change our signs. This becomes a positive, this becomes a negative. But of course, that looks really sloppy, so we like to rewrite our answer. 2x plus 3, and then x minus 1. And then let's not forget, this is part of an equation solving problem, so it does equal 0. Now that everything is factored, there's that multiplication in between. We set each factor equal to 0. 2x plus 3 equals 0, and x minus 1 equals 0. So we subtract 3 from both sides. 2x equals negative 3, divide by 2, so one of our answers is a negative 3 halves. This one, we just add 1 to both sides, so we get x equals 1. And then we just want to put our answer together. X equals negative 3 halves and a positive 1.